Ova Magica is a game where it's advertised as Stardew Valley meets Pokemon. I was fortunate enough to get a key for early access, so I played the first 30 days of Ova Magica, and here's how it went. Just to preface, this game is still in early access and there has been a few updates since I started playing the game, so you might notice slight differences throughout the video. Some great accessibility features you can see right off the start is the option to reduce flashing lights and effects, controller compatibility, and photosensitive warning right before the game starts. The game starts off with us on a train followed by a letter from our mother stating how grown up we are now and we're inheriting the family farm in Clovertown, while our mother works away somewhere overseas. She also mentions that the train ticket was expensive and we'll have to pay her back. I laughed when I first seen this because usually everything gets handed to us for free, so I wasn't expecting it. Now it brings us to character creation. We can choose between Hannah and Finn. So far with what we see in early access, there's already quite a few options for customization. This is always my favorite part, to make my character as cute as humanly possible. I really like how the game gives us a few options for clothing already at the beginning, and I'm excited to see what other options we can unlock in the future. There were so many cute options for hairstyles, I had a really hard time choosing. After creating our character, we finally arrived in Clovertown. Here we meet 3 characters, the mayor and 2 of our neighbors, Jade and Ruby. A feature I like about this game is that the important characters are all named after gemstones. It makes it so easy to keep track. Also, did you know that there is 13 romanceable candidates in this game? Right from the get-go, you can see the personality with these characters already. The first stop on our town tour is the League, where we can see there's already a crowd. Is it for me? It was actually for this random guy. Apparently he's like mega popular and essentially the champion of the League. For now. Until we get there. His name is Lapis and he pushes us as he walks by. How rude! When we enter the League, we are shown 3 eggs. And this is it. It's time we finally get our Pokemon. I mean, a blob. We go ahead and pick one of the 3 eggs, each a different type: Storm, Magma, and Forest. So I go ahead and pick the Storm type blob and we hatch our egg. And I was totally not expecting this, but it made me laugh so hard. I just love it so much. Our character is on top of the egg to warm it. So our blob hatches and I named the little guy Zeus, like the Greek god of the sky. Ruby gives us a tutorial on how to fight with blobs. It took me a moment to kind of understand how the progress bar at the bottom works, but battling is quite enjoyable. After the battle, which I won by the way, Jade tells us our farm is as ready as it can be, so we make our way there. Our farm looks horrendous. We don't even have a house, but that's to be expected, I guess, since our family did kind of abandon it. Jade and Ruby helps us set up a tent and we're ready to get started. The next day we wake up to Jade calling out to us. Apparently we're really heavy sleepers. Jade gives us the tutorial on how to farm, so we need some plant beds. We have a couple already, but we have to get rid of the dead crops. We dig up some mud piles to craft more plant beds, and then we have to dig up the soil to make it viable for the crops. Now we're ready for seeds. We water them and we're good to go. But now Zeus is starving, so we get some apple pies that Jade made, and I struggled to feed him at first. I don't know why I struggled so much, but he eats that up and just loves it. Now we're ready to do our own thing. So I spent the first official day cleaning up the farm a little bit and making more plant beds for crops. Looking in the menu, we can see info on our relationships, our inventory, the calendar, achievements, quests, and there's even skills we can unlock. You get points for these skills by leveling up friendship with the NPCs. I chatted with everyone I could see in Clovertown. From what I can see, the only way to level up friendship in Ova Magica is just to talk to everyone, and also festivals. Another feature to note is that when you open the map, it will essentially tell you where and when certain events are, so all the romanceable candidates I still have yet to meet are marked there on the map. One of the last characters I met was Lazuli, where, if you can't already tell, is the sister to Lapis. She quickly became one of my favorites since she was so cute and so kind. Then we learned that Lazuli has an illness which causes her to not be able to go outside or do very much. Which breaks my heart because I'm just scared she's gonna like die on me or something. But her butler asks us if we're able to keep her company from time to time since her health isn't great and her brother is never home. So I make it a mission to see her every day. After meeting all the villagers that I could, I spent the rest of day 1, or rather day 2, cleaning up the farm with what little energy that I had. Day 3, we're met by Sapphire, who gives us some items that allow us to cook. And then in our mailbox from Claudia the Dev, we also received a new blob for playing the early access, so we hop on to that egg to get to hatching. I will never get tired of the hatching part. It is just so funny. This blob is a cute little snowman. I give both my blobs some pets and get started with the day. I use some of the skill points I collected after talking to some of the villagers to reduce the energy costs of some of my tools. That will make cleaning up the farm and collecting materials a lot easier. Since it's raining, I don't need to water my crops, so I go ahead and start cutting some trees to get wood to eventually upgrade my tent. When I make my way to Clovertown for my daily chats, we meet Emerald, who is the ranger for Clovertown. Just from this interaction with him, he quickly went up my leaderboard for my romanceable candidate. He's just so cute. Ruby was at the beach today training to beat Lapis, so I took this as an opportunity to see what Frosty can do. And we won, even though we had the type disadvantage. After talking to everyone that I could, I head back to the farm and clean up what I can on the farm with my leftover energy. Day 4, Carnelian, the owner of the general store, comes to our farm and installs a shipping bin. So now we can finally make some money. Let's go. Being day 4 of the week, there's a festival today. At this point in early access, every week of this game, it looks like there's a completely unique festival. I can't wait to see them all. While waiting for the festival time, I water my crops, collect a bunch of rocks for my future house. At 12 p.m., the festival has begun. It was the egg festival, so the town was all decorated, bunny blobs are everywhere, there's food, and even an egg hunt. I'm so gonna destroy everyone. I had the option of buying a bunny blob, but unfortunately very poor. So I chat with all the villagers and just wait for the egg hunt. I found the egg hunt to be very easy. There were eggs literally everywhere, so I grabbed a lot. And by the time the timer was out, I had over 40 eggs, which was crazy. But when the egg festival was over, there wasn't really a scoring, so I couldn't rub it into everyone's faces that I was the clear winner, but you actually use the eggs as a currency for the items at the festival, which I thought was so neat, especially since I didn't have any cash this far into the game. So I bought an assortment of carrot cake and a bunny blob. After the festival was over, I spent day 5 talking to the villagers and cleaning up the farm. And I built a barn! And Jade gives us our very own cow blob and the little tutorial for the barn, and we're officially moving on up in the world. Day 6, we are awoken by someone calling out that there's a fire on our farm. Oh boy, what is going on now? Actually, nothing. It was just Charoy telling us to wake up. We finally have our own house that's not a tent. How amazing! Outside, we are met with the mayor asking us if we're enjoying Clovertown so far. He gives us a resident certificate, so now we can participate in the Clover Cup. So we gain tasks to join the Blob League and meet Jet the reporter for the newspaper. So now our daily routine is watering the crops, taking care of our cow blob, and talking to the villagers. For our special article with Jet, he asks us some questions like why we came to Clovertown, how we like Clovertown, etc., and gives us this lovely, lovely, lovely task of taking pictures of every character in the town and their blobs. At first, I thought it was just the important characters, but no, it was literally everyone you could see. However, the end of this quest is currently unavailable in early access, but I still wanted to get a head start on it once I discovered how time-consuming this was going to be. Day 7, we collected our money from the shipping bin, harvest some crops, take care of our cow and collect the milk, and head off into town to take pictures of everyone. I also make a pit stop to buy some more seeds from Jade. Day 8 was another festival. I just love how many festivals there are throughout this whole game. It just makes the grind worth it. Like there's always something new to look forward to. So we get started with the day by watering our crops, caring for our cow, and grabbing our cameras to take more pictures of people like the stalker that we are. This festival was the Night of Roses, and it was so fun. I love how there's a special currency for the festivals instead of using your gold. It makes it way more fun when I can actually buy things. We had very special guests at this festival, musicians Alto and Altair. And they ran into a predicament right before the show. They needed another member to help play the music for the show, and there's only one person who can save the day. Me. You got to pick which instrument you wanted to play, and I picked the violin. You got to play a rhythm game. It was so fun, but I was very bad at it. Music was not on my side that day. Day 9, I finally reached enough money to join the Adventurers Club. So now we can finally enter the blob world and see what that's all about. We even got our own special uniform that I've just never put on. Day 10 was our trip with Ruby into the blob world, and it was magical. Actually stunning. This is where we really get to see our blobs in action, and it was really neat to be able to control Ruby's blob too. I managed to find a bunch of seeds, an apple tree, some copper ore. I make a rookie mistake and I didn't bring very much food with me, so I didn't manage to get very far on my first attempt. But the blob world is really cool and I can't wait to see what's next. Day 11, I tried blob world again and died right away. Every time you enter, you can pick a companion to go in with you, so it's important to get your friendship up with most of the characters so you have more options on who to bring in with you. Day 12 is another festival, Founders Day. This one was so fun. There were multiple minigames such as a pudding eating contest, a fishing game, a strength test that I did not do the greatest on. I also didn't really know what I was doing. Don't judge, okay? There was the Wheel of Fortune, a basketball game that I also did really bad on, and you can even get some secret tickets talking to the mayor and listening to his long story. One thing to note in this festival is Lapis. Throughout the game so far, we've seen him as this cold, ignorant character, but when you talk to him at this festival, all he can think about is his sister, and how she'll like the presents that he's bringing her. It's so sweet to see that side of him. So maybe he's not that bad. Day 13 is a new series. Now, the town has turned into more orange colors, and it's just beautiful, so cozy, so fall. I hatched my new blob I got from the Founders Day Festival and traded out my snowman blob for him. We're finally reaching a point where we can see a lot of heart events. They are a great way to learn more behind the characters. I won't spoil them too much because I recommend you just play for yourself. In order to participate in the blob tournaments, we need to get league points. So once a day we can do a battle at the Blob League, and then we need 5 points before we are able to participate in our first tournament, and we can only get 1 point per day. Day 14, I start my day off heading to the barn to feed and pet my blobs, water my crops, get our daily Blob League point, chat to all of the villagers, watch a few cutscenes, and decide to help Emerald create a museum in Clovertown, which I think is going to take a lot of work since we need 10,000 coins, 100 stone, 10 copper, and 5 ingots. In order to get the iron ingots, we need to upgrade our pickaxe to, I'm assuming, a copper pickaxe, and copper is slim pickings right now. So it's going to be a lot of work. Day 15, we do our daily routine, talk to the villagers, and while we're talking to Flint, I noticed that there's this item called the heart fruit, and it says if you feed it to 2 blobs that they will mate. I heard a lot of things about blob breeding in this game, and there are many different types of blobs you can breed, so let's try it out and see what we can get. Day 16 is a festival day. This one is called Spooky Moon, which seems to be essentially Halloween. I love a good spooky day. Even though it is early morning in-game, the night sky is out already, making it the perfect vibe for Spooky Moon. For this festival, you can use your axe to break pumpkins in order to get candy, which will be used as a currency for the festival items. There's also special Halloween-themed furniture you can buy, a cauldron to soak in when your energy is low, but be careful not to soak in it too much or else Opal will come at you and not let you use it anymore. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I really enjoy seeing the character dialogue at each of the festivals because you get to learn so much more about them too. Especially with Lapis, each festival you can see how much he cares for his sister and wants her to enjoy them as well, even though she is unable to participate. Which is cute and slightly makes up for the fact that he is a complete jerk to us. Day 17 was a regular day in Clovertown, just taking care of the farm, petting our blobs, and upping our friendship with the villagers. At this point, we finally had enough points to participate in the Rookie Cup. This consisted of multiple battles back to back. We eventually got to battle Ruby, who we unfortunately lost due to a type advantage. Womp womp. But we did get second place in the tournament. Heck yeah! And we got money! I wonder how much first place will get us. I spend the rest of this day in the blob world, and this time I bring Charoy with me, who wasn't really much of a help as Ruby usually is. Her blob kinda sucks. Day 18 wasn't really anything special, just farm, chat, blob league, blob world, and then I bought 2 heart fruits to finally get around to breeding my blobs. I decided to give the fruit to the cow and my Founders Day blob. I wonder what their blob baby will be. Day 19, we get to see another hard event with Ruby, and she notices an ad at the Adventurers Guild about potential sightings of a ghost. We have to meet her at the mines late at night so we can do some investigating. This is also where I realize that there's a mine in this town where I can get a bunch of copper and iron. I literally had no idea. I thought I had to go into the blob world to get it. By the time night hit, Ruby and I are investigating the woods. She fell, and now she can't find her blob Daisy. Suddenly, we hear something coming in the distance, and it's a blob. But not just any blob. Puffy, Garnet's blob. It turns out that they were fishing here late at night, and they're actually the ghosts everyone's been hearing. She also found Daisy, so it's mission complete. However, Ruby is a little upset that there isn't actually any ghosts to be found, but she cheers up and doesn't let that get her down. Day 20 is another festival day. Woo! It's weather day today. Everything is all covered with rainbows. It's so cute. This festival is all about appreciating nature and dancing in the rain. There's lots of cute furniture, even Flint was selling weather blobs, so I think they might be able to help me water my crops. So I snatched one of those bad boys up real quick. The minigame for this festival was very interesting. It selected a random villager and then everyone would spin around and around and you had to follow it and select the correct one. It was pretty easy, but I did try really hard and strain my eyes for it. I discovered that the prize for this festival is a weather blob! So now I have 2 and no space in my barn for either of them. Day 21 was a very special day. We increased our friendship with Jasper so much he gives us our very own steam board. So now we can just whip around Clovertown. Hey, I never said that I was going to be great at this. Thank you, Jasper. You're actually pretty cool. Nothing overly eventful happened on day 21. We did have a hard event with Opal, collected some copper for ingots, and just whipped around. Day 22 was the birth of a new blob, so after cleaning up all of the poop, I hatched our new blob, and he was so cute. I don't know what I was really expecting it to be, but he is kind of basic. But now we have 2 milk drops per day, which will be good for some money. At Charo's house, Garnet is there looking to get some upgrades to her ship, and she needs 100 pieces of wood, so she asks us to help her out. Of course we say yes. So I spend the rest of my energy getting as much wood as possible. Day 23, I get the rest of the wood needed for Charoy and help her fix Garnet's ship with zero help from Garnet herself. But she does take us out for a cruise on the high seas once we're finished, and it was a very relaxing moment. Until we see this giant blob fish thingy. Honestly, it just kind of looks like Warlord from Pokemon, but we do end up taking a picture of it. Day 24, after we finish the daily chores on the farm, we have a new hard event with Lazuli, which broke my heart, honestly. She asked if we were close to our family, and I said no because #character development. And she said it's just been her and Lapis ever since they were young, since their parents passed away. And they're not as close as they once used to be. She wonders how they can open up to each other again, and we give her some advice and cheer her up a little. She gives us a flower called a frost kiss and some seeds. I feel like Lazuli is gonna die or just something goes wrong with her. Just because of how sad the character is, I just don't know what to expect and it has me on edge. But I will cherish this flower she has given me in the very depths of my storage box. Also on day 24, we finally collected enough points to challenge the Rookie Cup in the Blob League again. So our first match was a little scary. They hit a lot harder than I expected, but we managed to pull through for the W. Match 2 was a one-hit KO. They had 0 chance against me. Match 3, we were fighting against Ruby once again. Most of my blobs are at the type disadvantage, so I wasn't really sure who to go with. So I went with the pumpkins since they were the same type, and even though Ruby hit hard, I did have enough heals and determination. And we got first place in the Rookie Cup! So now the World Blob Power went up to 24, whatever that means, and we've been upgraded to the Copper League. Day 25, I worked on creating another small barn to hold my blobs since I've collected so many at this point. and I wanted to breed them and find some cool combinations. So I chopped a bunch of trees down, destroying the forest, took care of the blobs in the barn, and chatted with all the villagers and headed to the mine to collect the copper, since I'm going to need a lot of copper before I can build most of the structures in this game. So it's going to be a long grind for the future. And then I died in the mine. Day 26, I had 0 energy since you don't recover any when you pass out. So I took it easy and helped Jade clean up some weeds and mushrooms on her farm, dug up some sand so I could get some glass, eat a good meal at the restaurant, and then chop some more trees. Then I finally had enough wood and fiber to build another barn. Woohoo! I could finally hatch my weather blobs that I got from the festival, and it looks like they have the ability Rainbow, which doesn't seem to do a whole lot except to put a rainbow in the sky, which actually sucks because I was hoping they could water my plants. But maybe there will be a breed down the line if I continue to breed it with another blob. Day 27, I took care of my blobs and decided to try out the blob world again. I chose Garnet to come in with me this time, and her blob is awesome! It was so strong and very handy in the blob world. I made it to stage 2 and then I died. I really gotta work on my blobbing. Day 28 was a new festival and Flint was over with a gift. He heard that Ruby and I were exploring the blob world and decided to bring us a blob egg, so we hatched it in our barn and it was so cute! It's a little fox and it's our first fire type, so I think it'll come in handy. And I think if we breed it, we might be able to get some cute combos with it. When it was time for the blob banquet, it's almost like the luau in Stardew where you can bring ingredients for this stew. I wasn't really sure what to bring. I also didn't have much, so I just brought some meat. That can't be bad, right? Well, I actually poisoned the giant blob squirrel and he went running and forced everyone to eat awful food. Oops. Day 29 was the winter season. It was nice and snowy. I headed over to Jade to buy a bunch of crops and I planted the flowers that Lazuli gave us the other day. As I headed to the mine to try and get more copper, I discovered that you're able to cross the lake now since it's frozen, and discovered the sewers, which isn't available right now, but I'm excited to see where that takes us in the future. And while I was trying to get more copper, I died. Again. Day 30. I want to try to breed our latest fox blob to see if we can get anything cute from it. So I breed it with Zeus and maybe it'll be a cute blue fox or something like that. I finally got around to planting the seeds that I bought the day before. We also had another heart event with Citrine, Antoine, this dancer agent guy, seen her perform at the beer gardens and would like her to join his troupe of traveling dancers, but her father was strongly against it and wanted her to stay at the beer gardens forever, so she did end up refusing. She was pretty excited about it, so hopefully we can help her with her dream one day. Antoine talks to us and we get the task to build a theater so that they can dance. And just from looking at all the items we need, this is going to take a hot minute because I don't even know how to get gold yet. Day 32, our bonus day. There was a festival just 2 days after our day 30, so I wanted to end this on a fun note. And this festival was the Game of Love. This was like Guess Who. We asked a series of questions and had to guess which villager it was at the end. I was feeling pretty good at the end. I thought I knew who it was, but unfortunately I guessed that it was Emerald when it was actually Flint. All because I made one mistake. When I asked if their blob was a forest type, I mistakenly thought Flint's blob was like a rock type or something. I don't even think there is a rock type in this game. I don't know what I was thinking at this point. But Flint was very disappointed in me. Sorry. But that was my 30 days of Ova Magica. This game is so unique with the blobs, the breeding, the characters, the festivals. It takes farming games to a whole new level, and in my 30 days, there is still so much I have yet to discover. We have so many buildings to try to build and help Clover Town thrive. I've put in a lot of hours for this game already, and time just flies. The amount of things you can do makes it so that there's always something new, so you're not just doing the same things over and over again. I'm excited to see the future updates and the types of blobs that I can create, so I definitely recommend checking out Ova Magica if you're looking for a cute, cozy game that's not just farming. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'd much appreciate it if you liked, commented, and or subscribed to the channel, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!